Babyliciouses! Welcome to Babes in the Conclave, a Traitors podcast where a couple of queers talk crushes, gay drama, and strategy. And sound off in the comments, because can you actually believe this is really happening? We are covering the Traitors Quebec Season 3 finale and the episode that came before it. The final 2 episodes. Oh my gosh, it's groundbreaking. It's Babes history. Je m'appelle Annabel, je suis Fidel, and joining me, mon amour, ChiliPhilly.
Bonjour. I forgot what I was like, I say something normally. Bonjour.
We're here. We're doing it.
We are doing it. I know. Sorry to anybody who was still hoping that at some point in time we're going to do a Quebec 2 finale, but alas.
We could. You never know. Like, honestly, sometimes I'm like, who's it for? Would anyone listen to it all these years later? But it does come up from time to time. So
Yeah.
full spoiler alerts for all Traitors Quebec, and also just the Traitors in general. We got some comments a couple of weeks ago. So sorry we're coming to you late. The world conspired against us to prevent us from bringing you a finale.
Mm-hmm.
Philly's laptop died a tragic death, but Phil made it work. Here to you today on their iPad. Now, we got some great comments. So Boy says, gonna go out on a limb here and nominate this as your best dramatic roundtable reading of all time.
Oh.
People loved what was his name? I'm having a temporary mind blank.
Patrick?
Patrick!
Sorry, I had to really use my brain to
it was a couple.
What you were going to say.
It was a couple of weeks ago. Adele, badass women and floppy ass men is a genius summary of this season. And frankly, that theme continues. And Exigent says, the best Elaine moment is when she's removed from the episode 7 mission and she says, I hope they all roast in the heat. T. Elaine only gets better. Can we just take a moment, Philly?
Yep.
When I was watching these 2 episodes a week ago, I was like, was this made in a lab for Babes?
Yeah. All the way to the end, I would say. Yeah.
I mean, full spoilers. Not the Babes crush pics taking out the win of the season. I'm like, I feel like anyone who wasn't a Babes listener might have been furious at this final 2 and been like, I'm sorry, what is this? What do you mean crazy mustache Jacob and Elaine took out a joint win? But I was like, this is the best scenario possible.
Yeah, this is like when people do brand steals and then it's like the finale is Annabel and I don't know, some random other, like, you know, it's just like, and they win or whatever. It's like, this is like fan simulation territory.
It really was. It was beautiful. So, actually, we've got some World of the Traitors updates, Philly.
Okay.
Headline news. Heterosexual Curtis has been posting a lot of thirst traps in his stories. So if you're not following Heterosexual Curtis on Instagram, may I recommend it? Honestly, like a lot of muscle, a lot of skinny singlets. He's been surfing.
Yeah.
We also got some feedback from Trana, who told us that we've not adequately described Jacob's mustache. So for our many listeners who are not watching Traitors Quebec but are experiencing it through us, I've been describing him as a circus freak. I've described him as mustache. But Philly, can you just, for our audience, specifically for my sister Charlotte, describe the audacity of the mustache we're talking about here?
Oh, it's like cartoon mustache, isn't it? It's like actually shaped to taper in the center, come out really fat, and then twirl into little spirals on the edge. It's funny because, we're trying to send that. I was like, oh no, but Annabelle's like being, I guess, metaphorically been talking about mustache twirling. But then when I watch these finale episodes, they do some throwbacks as a part of his sort of finishing montage. And one of the things he's doing in one of them is twirling his mustache. So we're being also very literal.
Yeah, no, we weren't exaggerating. Like, there is no exaggerating the audacity of this mustache.
Yeah, it's
Like,
real.
a huge red mustache that comes out and twirls upwards and twirls. Like, there's a lot of wax. It's so much, team. It's so much. We have another big piece of news.
Mm,
You and I have not spoken about it, Philly, so
mm,
maybe you missed the memo, but
yeah,
surely you haven't, because huge.
yeah.
The new season of House of Villains Quebec is
Oh, yeah,
coming,
yes, let's see all this. Yeah.
and we have incredible casting.
Mhm.
The three crown queens of Traitors Quebec. We have Miriam, one of my favorite reality TV players of all time, Quebec season 1. We have the best to ever do it, Audrey from season 2. And the diva herself, the woman of the moment, Genevieve from season 3.
I saw that. I saw that. I do kind of love that, like, they have that House of Villains is cast with, well, to be fair, they're other shows as well, but casting three people from the Traitors because there mustn't be too many shows that they can really be pulling from the Quebec legacy of TV.
How dare you, first of all. They have Big Brother, at least. We know that's a thing. Then we've got the School of Synergology.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, the pilot aired.
Yeah, we've got Big Brother, we've got Quebec Survivor, and School of Synergology, the three biggest shows in Quebec.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. Here I thought they only had three shows, but four takes it over the top. Hey, they don't have
I
the block Quebec.
Yeah, not the blog. Honestly, if we didn't have so many shows, new Trader seasons dropping over the next few months, I'd be like, do we need to watch House of Villains Quebec?
Yeah.
Because I am such a Miriam Stan and Audrey. Like, all three of these women
Yeah.
are incredible.
Yeah.
Anyway, if it's really good, let us know, and maybe we can jump in and do a
We'll do
special.
like a one episode wonder.
Yeah. All right. So again, it's been a while since I watched these episodes, a week, you could say. But overall, Philly, what was your vibe on these last two?
I guess, I was so satisfied by the end. It happened to be a good combination of a faithful win of somebody who actually kind of really tried and somebody who
How,
who who served.
I think you're being a
Maybe
bit
was
unfair to
the
Jacob there, Phil. I think that Jacob put in a lot of effort. He wasn't
um
just a pretty face.
and then yeah, so I liked the combination of the two for their different qualities. Yeah, no, I don't know. I felt pretty fine with it, to be honest. Like the way it turned out, the way it ended was, I feel like a lot happened.
Yes.
I feel like a lot happened, and I was like, "Whoa, what going on?" Um, and I was sort of losing track of sort of what like the potential outcomes were going to be, and maybe that says a lot of like what they're all like their hyper awareness is sort of manifesting. But yeah, other than that, I actually quite liked it. What about you?
Yeah, it was very surprising to me how this all turned out. Um and it was difficult for me to pinpoint where things went wrong for particular individuals.
Mm,
Like, coming into this episode 9, we look at the foursome, so we look at the Camille, Genevieve, Nada, Bald Justin of it all. And because they've allowed Sexy Steve to stick around for so long, There's just too much heat on them. The finger's
Yeah.
been pointed there for too long. There's too much heat, which means that if Genevieve can't present a traitor from that group that's not her, it leaves her in a really difficult position.
Mm.
Peter Stevo, like, no one has really trusted Peter Stevo except for Camille Rose for quite some time.
Mm.
So Peter Stevo's also drawing blanks. Bull Justin. I thought that Bull Justin coming into this was in a really strong position to survive and potentially win, and was
Yeah.
surprised when he ultimately didn't. So maybe we can talk about the Bull Justin murder and
Yeah.
how things went wrong for him. But
Yeah.
if Helene and Jacob were on the bottom, really, with the least
Oh.
number of friends, the least amount of power, and ultimately they're the ones who end up rising supreme
Mm.
because they're the least gamey and have the most trust.
Yeah. Yeah. It's basically actually what it comes down to, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, and you've mentioned it so many times, the outcome of this definitely is people overplaying because the Traitors is just such a random game. Allowing people who didn't game it too hard to just navigate straight while the rest all around each other.
And it somehow worked for Audrey, maybe because she was with so many people who weren't as gamey. But when you
Mm.
get this faction of gamers together, I don't know, it seemed to all really and I wonder if keeping Sexy Steve in
Yeah.
is what the problem was there. Because they kept him in and then he kept getting shields, and I don't know, Philly, I feel like, oh, poor sweet Sexy Steve. Let's get
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
So at breakfast, Peter Stevo and Steve are there. They're eyeing up the foursome. Genevieve, if you remember, team, from a fortnight ago, like, she got busted when Sexy Steve confronted her in the evening saying, look, one of you guys is feeding the tea and the rest of you are jumping on it and being manipulated by it. Genevieve had tried to throw Nada under the bus there. Obviously, that gets back to Nada. Nada's pissed. So Genevieve is now she's now like gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. That never happened. I never said that about Nada. It's not a real thing. Sexy Steve is like, I think you did. Meanwhile, they're all pointing fingers at each other. So Nada's pointing the finger at Camille. Bull Justin's like, guys, come on, traitors, throw me a bone, turn on each other. And Javier was murdered here.
Yeah.
I'm a bit disappointed because I feel like Javier had so many great looks, but he just never popped. Like, there wasn't an iconic Javier moment this season.
No, because Javier was the type of gamer that actually kind of maybe understood what to do, which doesn't necessarily mean that you're I guess in this context, the one who's starting like literally everything.
Did
Does that
he,
make
or
sense?
was he just there to vibe? I don't know that I
I don't
got,
know.
like,
He seemed to really want to be there and do things.
no. Yeah, I mean, he wanted to be there. I'm not disputing that, but I'm like, did Javier really have his finger on the pulse, or was he there to be iconic
Well,
and
they just thought
serve?
the traders thought Javier was there to be do the most by following them around. And
Mm-mm. Did you watch the bit with Camille afterwards? You know, when Camille talks to the voted out player, not Camille, Karine,
yeah,
and she's like, "Yeah, Javier, look at all of the times you busted the traitors." And
mm,
Javier just had no idea.
yeah. Oh, my favorite thing was in the finale one of those when they talk about the weird shield thing, and the others were like, "Oh my god, we had no idea there's a whole section of this game that was meant to be playing out while we were like just chit chatting."
Obsessing over, yeah. So coming out of breakfast, Jacob's like, "I'm alive because I'm right. It's Camille or Jen." And Sexy Steve is like, "I know that it's one of the four."
Yeah.
So, post breakfast, Sexy Steve is the loudest, but it's actually Audacity Mustache Jacob who's the most correct. And it's Bald Justin who's thinking the most self interestedly.
Mm.
So, Elaine, she's like, Genevieve, it was juicy that tea you spilled about Nada last night. And it's like, I don't know, super weird that you're denying it.
Mm.
Genevieve tries to deflect and throw Peter Stevo under the bus, but this gives Elaine everything Elaine needs to know. She doesn't buy it, and Elaine is going to be looking at Genevieve for the rest of this game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of back and forths. Like, Sexy Steve's trying to get to the bottom of it. He's like, Camille Rose, can I trust you? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about you. I want to go for one of the women. I think it's one of the women. Even Jacob and Justin agree that if there's a man left in the conclave, it's Peter Stevo. Like, I really felt Peter Stevo was drawing dead. I know that Genevieve parting gifts him later, Phil, but I feel like everyone was already looking at Peter Stevo. No one wanted to go to the end with him.
Oh, yeah, because there's always situations where there's the faithful, like, well, we'll just leave that person for now and go for the others first. And yeah, like, I'm sure they all had that in mind. Obviously, it's just the show can't be like, we already suspect this one dude. Let's just think about the other people.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like it was
Yeah.
reading between the line.
Yeah, T. So the big headline news from this episode is Sexy Steve really misplaying the social interactions here. Like, there was no reason for Sexy Steve to be the person voted out here. I feel like he did this completely to himself. He's putting off Bold Justin, where he's like, Bold Justin, it's one of your friends, so say it out loud, gun to your throat. Pick a name. Is it Camille or Genevieve? You're only allowed to say which one of them, and you have to vote for one of them tonight. Hates that. The real thing, Steve, he's like, I just worry, like, that whole Patrick debacle last night where we called him a homophobe and that he said he was a traitor. Is it going to affect my career? Peter Stevo, what are your kids going to think? What are your kids going to think watching that episode back and your whole game? Are your kids going to hate you? Are they going to be humiliated that they're your father? Or are they going to look at you differently after this? And, wow, Peter Stevo does not care for this.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe that was a massive storyline. I was not expecting that. Oh, God.
But also, what the fuck were you thinking, Sexy Steve? Like,
Yeah.
I think he tried to go full bad cop here, and despite all of his body language training, was not picking up on the synergology symbols that he was making everyone hate his guts.
Yeah, literally. What would your children think of this? Obviously, he didn't know that the nerve he was truly striking was the Traitors one. But, like...
But regardless, like, even if it's over how they treated Patrick last time, which was outrageous, imagine suggesting that, how are you going to feel? Are you going to be able to look your kids in the eyes after what you did to Patrick? Like, what? Like, what?
I know. I wonder if he said that to, like, Elaine, if she would have been like, yeah, I wonder.
Elaine Diva. Like, after today, for the rest of the day, Peter Stevo is going to be like, I know I'm being emotional. I don't even care. I hate Sexy Steve. I'm voting for Sexy Steve. And everyone's going to vote out Sexy Steve because Sexy Steve was, frankly, a dick. Like, I don't even think anyone thinks he's a traitor.
No. I think that was probably the last, like, quote-unquote personal vote.
And with personal voting, is this not like the last vote where they reveal their role? Yeah. And they choose Sexy Steve? Who I don't even think anyone's suspicious of.
But do you know what? This reinforces what we just made. We made as an assertion that they all already, in their minds, already think that PS is is a traitor, so they don't need that reveal.
And I suppose for Genevieve, I'm like thinking about it from Genevieve's point of view. If she gets, say, like a Camille Rose banished here, then everyone knows Camille Rose isn't a traitor, so maybe it's her. But, like, I'm just thinking, if we vote out a PS here, if we vote out a Peter Stevo, is that better? Does that remove any heat from Genevieve or not?
Because I think they could easily, well, okay, so let's say, because yes, that would make sense. But then we are also saying that maybe they knew that he already was one. And so this whole time they're saying it's one of you girls. They are
Yeah.
straight up just saying it's one of the girls.
Yeah.
So even if they got rid of Peter Stever, they could still be like, well, it's could be
It's
still
weird
either of you two girls. And we might as well just get rid of both of you.
that we don't trust either of you enough. Yeah.
And actually the next episode's actions reinforce that. They're just focused on the two as being the two.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so the mission is that sack people voodoo doll one where basically whoever's left unstabbed by the team gets a big advantage, which they correctly deduce, and we know they're like, it's going to be a dagger, and we know they get a choice between a dagger or a shield, and they get to hand off whichever one they don't choose to somebody else. Kareen, leather ball gown with sunnies. I thought it was a
Yeah.
cute look. So it gets down to basically who's going to get the advantage here. Is it going to be Sexy Steve or is it going to be Nada the drama? And it's actually Peter Stevo who gets to make the choice here. And he stabs Steve, which means that Nada gets the advantage. And I'm like, I don't know if that was the right decision. I mean, ultimately, because he's going for Steve at the round table, he doesn't want Steve to have the extra power. But, like, Nada was definitely never going to give him one of the advantages. And why?
Yeah.
I know it's emotional, so there's no point questioning the strategy in it, but it just seemed very weird to be targeting Steve here.
Yeah. But I
Steve wasn't looking at him. Like, Steve was one of the few people not looking at him, really.
But I feel like this crew, this whole season, have made so many questionable emotional decisions
Yeah.
that I feel like it tracks with this crew.
Yeah.
Like if this was out of nowhere, like Peter Stevo randomly wanting to get revenge on Steve, okay, sure, but that's very not very well thought out, I guess you'd say. But in saying that, you know, we've had the weird shield swappy thing. He didn't even follow through on any murder. Like, you know, like they've done questionable things out of their own emotions, I guess.
They were crazy. They were crazy. They weren't cracked this season in the way we like them to be cracked, but they had their right serve of crazy. So after the mission, there's a little bit like the Alliance are worried that Nada's offside now and not going to vote with them, which is fair. Like, because frankly, you've really pissed off Nada Genevieve. She's not coming back. It's going to end up fairly fatal for you. And Camille Rose is getting Sexy Steve on side as well. We get quite like an important conversation post-mission between Nada, Camille Rose, and Genevieve. And Camille Rose is like, Nada, if you turn on one of us today and we are faithful, you are stuck with a bunch of people tomorrow who are not on your side. They will always pick each other before they pick you. And while Nada does side with them this round table, she flips in episode 10, Philly, and I do think that's where she goes wrong.
Oh, yeah. Like, in what universe? That I think that's why I started getting really confused on all these endgame plans, because it's like she fully flips on what has been her alliance the whole time in hopes that the gamble she's taking on these two people that she wasn't really working with the whole time will take her. It's like, is it that she just didn't want to lose to a traitor? Is that what she was thinking, maybe?
Yeah, and I guess if she doesn't know if it's Camille Rose or Genevieve, she doesn't want to be in a final three with them, right? Because there's no...
Yeah.
Maybe she's the person who's most screwed over by the Bald Justin murder.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because
really
she's basically...
into a corner there.
Yeah, she's stuck with them.
Yeah. So basically, they are all like, Peter Steve has put his foot down. It's Sexy Steve. It's Sexy Steve. The Alliance is happy to go with that. But the other side are a bit split because Sexy Steve is like, no, we have to vote together. Like, let's go Genevieve. But Jacob's looking more at Camille Rose, Sexy Steve has just bonded with Camille Rose. He's kind of off her now. So they can't get their shit together. And Nada is going to go to Corinne's office.
Yeah.
Do you remember with Hollywood and Dom?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was actually surprised by her choices here. So she brings in Justin, her bestie, Steve to test him out, and Camille Rose. And she basically gets to choose, like, who does she want to give an advantage to, and she gets to keep the other one. She knows she wants the shield. And Justin comes up with this plan where he's like, okay, like, don't show the shield to the other two so they don't know. Like, they might think you gave the shield to me. They might think you kept it for yourself. Try and protect me via the shield as well. And I do think that in choosing to give the dagger to Camille instead of Justin and not... I don't know. I know she was trying to use the shield to save herself and Justin, but I wonder if she unintentionally put a target on Justin and all of that. If it just didn't work.
Wasn't the issue at the end of the day, not to jump a little bit ahead, but pretty sure she talks to Camille first. So Camille knows of the shield's presence.
Yeah.
And then when they tell and then Nada and her create one plan, like quote unquote one plan. She sees Steve and then she sees Justin, and then Justin creates that second plan. Camille's like, well, what the hell? You actually produced a different plan to me, despite what you both had said to everybody. And then you didn't follow through. So yeah, so I think she made the wrong decision in like what she did. I think if her and Justin just had their own isolated experience and then she tried to maybe do a better sort of vet of Camille to suss out whether or not her or Genevieve was a traitor, then I think it would have worked, but she kind of did. It was all in a weird order. Like, she didn't do it right.
And I just also think she wasn't her normal confident self. Like, the Nada we used to know would have relished having the dagger. Like, there's no way our OG Nada... It was almost like she lost her confidence for an episode here. She comes back in episode 10, but she just... I don't know. All right. Are we ready for a dramatic roundtable reenactment, Philly?
Oh, we're doing this one?
We're going to do this one.
In honor of Sexy Steve.
In honor of Sexy Steve. Get ready for a vibes-only, dramatic, roundtable reenactment. Karine is wearing a rust and white silk, quite understated, really, and in a plot twist, Nada gives Camille Rose the dagger instead of Justin. Sexy Steve opens. I came here to vote out traitors, so tonight I won't be falling into any traps or making any mistakes at all, and I certainly won't be going home. It's Camille Rose or Genevieve, and I'm leaving Genevieve because of her personality. I don't even know how you want me to respond to that, Steve. Frankly, I think it's you. You were trying to turn me against the girlies, and that is very traitorous. Camille Rose. Yes, Sexy Steve, you are distracting the faithful by making them look at each other instead of your own sexy traitor face. But guys, that's just how I play. Peter Steve. Yes, and frankly, it's off-putting. You hurt my feelings, and I hate you. Camille Rose. And to top it all off, you are a sexy hypocrite who won't vote for your sexy friends, Helene and Jacob. Bold Justin. Oh, look at that. It's almost like you're a trio. Steve. I am a human being saying human being things. Human. I have not been possessed by robot Nada. God, Elaine would be such a hot traitor. Elaine. Don't worry, girlie. We can scissor later. The votes come in. There are many votes for Sexy Steve. Justin, Jan, Camille Rose votes for him twice. Peter Stevo tells him that he's a white knight gone dark knight. And Nada sticks with the alliance. Meanwhile, the others can't get their shit together. Steve and Elaine vote for Genevieve, Jacob for Camille Rose. The whole thing was insane, but iconic. And Sexy Steve goes out giving a speech about honor and integrity and how he really is a white knight after all. End scene.
Mm. Yeah, thank goodness we have video evidence of when I realized what you were doing was robot Netta. Halfway through, I was like, wait, why is this voice? And I was like, oh my God, it's robot Netta. She's back. She had to cameo for the last
She did.
episode.
When he gave his little bit, I am a human being just doing human being things, I was like, okay, Sexy Steve, the lady does
Yeah.
protest too much.
Yes, Steve AI. I mean, Steve.
I love synergology.
He's
but I
actually a
can't read a
robot.
room.
Manuel has designed a robot to learn body language of people to take back to the synergologist office. And then Manuel's like, okay, yep, inputting data when they blinked. Yeah.
Special synergology AI agent.
Yeah. Oh my God, just for the Traitors as well, specifically. Like, that was his takeaway. He was like, oh my goodness, after being on the Traitors, I want to create an AI algorithm that and he had two. He had two robots in there. One failed, one kind of succeeded.
And both incredibly sexy.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's why they're sexy as well.
They're so sexy because they're robots. Yeah. They're synergology agents.
Oh my God, Manuel, synergology agents. I can't wait for next season or next Canada for us to see the new synergologists.
Manuel has the energy of a man who is definitely creating robots as well, and that they're all unnaturally attractive.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a Manuel thing.
I need to quote, pretty privilege looks maxing.
All tall, all dark, all handsome.
Hair max, more hair, add more hair.
Yeah. They're like, hair max incomplete.
All right, everyone is crying. Elaine's crying. Nada's crying. Post roundtable, Justin has a cunning plan. Justin always has some fucking cunning plan, I swear to God. Anyway, it's a shit plan.
For someone who breached the honor integrity thing, he real does survive a friggin' tries to survive this.
So his latest thing is that he's going to get Nada to run around and tell everybody that she gave Justin the shield.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, they go to ham on it and tell too many people to the point where it's, like, bleedingly obvious that Justin doesn't have a shield. Like, maybe tell 2 people maximum, not everybody except for Elaine.
Yeah, when they show the montage of them telling everyone, I was like, oh shit, you really did tell everybody.
Yeah.
There's like 5 people left.
And, like, you would think here that they would want to keep Bald Justin over Jacob anyway. It seemed kind of insane. I mean, like, when Justin gets murdered, he's like, well, like, bad on them because I would have been more loyal to the traitors anyway. Like, I intended to keep them around and banish them at the last moment. I, on reflection, think that it was better getting rid of him because he was kind of the glue between Camille Rose and Nada. And because Camille Rose and Nada didn't have him to lean on and Genevieve didn't have him to lean on, it did mean that things could fracture, and that was ultimately better for Peter Stevo.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. No, and that's always what you do in any of these shows. You have to eliminate the glue. You can't be just going for the fringe.
Yeah, bald guy. The glue guy. So Jacob and Elaine make
the bald guy.
The bald guy.
Cut around it. It's the bald guy.
The bald guy. The glue guy. You know, we sometimes called them the bald guy. You know how it is. I had a beer before starting this podcast team, and it's all just coming out. The robot Netta voice, the bald slurs. None of it planned. So Jacob and Elaine, they make basically a final 2-pack. They're like, Peter Stevo's a traitor. Meanwhile, Camille Rose is telling everyone, I think that it is Peter Stevo and Jacob. Nada dobs her in to Peter Stevo. And so, anyway, there are fractions. Nada, not really on side with Camille Rose and Genevieve going into the next day. That is important. And in the conclave, they realize Justin is full of shit. He does not have a shield. And we do need to murder him. At this point, I'm thinking, like, Peter Stevo is drawing dead. There is not a single person left in the game who thinks he's faithful. And Genevieve still has a lot of friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do think that for Genevieve, they should, you know what? Here's where they should have recruited Camille Rose. They've had all of this time to recruit someone. As soon as people started pointing at the fingers at the group, could she have recruited one of the people? Got rid of Peter Stevo, even if she could. So if they couldn't recruit, it had to be a blackmail. Get rid of Peter Stevo, throw him under the bus, bring in Anata, bring in a Camille Rose, so that you've got a fighting chance.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised because I think we thought they were going to recruit at one point and they didn't.
Yeah.
They just wanted to stay as a 2. But then that I feel like, for example, for Peter Stevo, like, I don't know why he thought he had a fighting chance when clearly everybody had suspicion on him. Meanwhile, for Jeanne, as evidenced by when they do the M thing at the reunion, the whatever, Revelation for the finale, and they're like, who was like an OG traitor, or who do you think was one of the traitors out of the 2 people, out of all the people here? And they guess PS and somebody else generally. But they don't guess her. She probably thought she's giving herself at least just one person to eliminate instead of having a buffer of 2. But yeah, like, I just think they didn't do that properly.
I just think at the point where, because, you know, people want to be absolutely confident when they end the game. At the point where there's all of this heat on your group, do you need somebody else in your group to vote out so that everyone can be like, okay, we got the person in your group?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I think if she wanted to get rid of Peter Stevo, now they're both like, it's going to be a little bit of a harder to be like, and then it's another person in the group. Then it looks like you're the suspicious one for turning on your lights and
yeah, it's hard. You're right. Okay, so at breakfast, Nada's like, Genevieve, why do you even talk to Camille Rose? She sucks, and frankly, it's suspicious that you're friends. People are most suspicious of Camille Rose, and they killed Justin to frame Elaine and Jacob. I'm like, because apparently everybody else knew he had a shield, but it's also like, no, everybody was told he had a shield except for Elaine.
Yeah.
So it just fell on her face.
Yeah.
Also, no,
they overthought.
The main reason he was murdered was because of his cunning plan.
Big threat over here. It's so funny because, like, they should have also gotten rid of him ages ago as well.
Literally. They're like, no. So the only people who know that he has a shield, even though he doesn't really have a shield, are you and I and Nada and Bold Justin. And then immediately Jacob's like, oh no, like, immediately Justin came up and told me he had a shield. Yeah, actually everybody knew he had a shield except for Elaine. So,
yeah.
Don't know what happened there. And they're like, oh shit. And so everyone, the girlies go off to confront Nada about the shield lie. They're like, what the fuck, Nada? Like, what do you mean? Well, clearly he didn't have a shield. Why did you say he had a shield? He was murdered. And Nada, she makes up this super weird lie about how no, I thought I'd given him a shield because I told Kareen that if Justin was still in the game after the murder, I wanted him to have a shield. I don't know. I was like, Nada, just come out at this point and say, I thought I would protect
We
us
made a
both.
plan to
It was
protect us
also
both.
his dumbass idea.
Yeah. Done.
Yeah. And she's like,
They're
well,
already
you know what?
upset about the
Yeah.
shield swapping thing. They should know that this is something you would have done.
Yeah. So she's like, well, you're the problem because you're friends with Peter Stevo. So everybody is making, at this point, it's just a mad scramble to make final twos, final threes, final fours. So there's all of these different boot orders going around. And it's kind of hard to work out which one is the most believable one at this
Yeah, the
point.
real one.
Yeah, which one is the real one? But because the girls are turning on each other, like Camille Rose and Genevieve kind of together, sort of deciding they're not going to turn on each other at least first. But Nada's flipped on them. She's lying to them, but has a different story for everyone else. And really, the only ride or dies, the only two who are absolutely no, we're not lying about it, we're not pretending otherwise, are Jacob and Elaine. And I do think that
Yeah.
works for them. So
Yeah.
as we
Well,
head,
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
No, go. Sorry.
No, as we head to the mission, Elaine was looking so hot here. She's just got this like very sexy, low cut, lacy sequin floral number. It was
Yeah.
giving grandma's curtains, but make it horny.
Yeah, it was. It was. It's so funny because obviously we knew this was coming from Canada. And it was so interesting to see them have to present like a nice dinner look and then their finale look. Because then like these looks were very glam. I think they were as well in Canada. But it's funny to see then also afterwards them just take all of these outfits off and turn into completely like less impressive outfits.
I love Elaine. She was incredible. So the preferred order that Jacob and Elaine give is the actual order. So this is where I want to like hammer this in that I've seen people being critical of Genevieve's parting gift. And yeah, she did parting gift. I don't think it made a difference because in the cars on the way to the mission before any of this, Jacob and Elaine are saying it's Camille Rose out first, then Genevieve, then Peter Stevo. Nada thinks she's locked in a final three with us. We can't risk it. Let's axe Nada as well, just in case. The only people we absolutely trust are each other. And this is exactly how it plays out. Like, everybody else is going through the motions. These two truly trust each other. And I do think the fact that nobody else there blindly trusts each other is... And no one thinks it's Elaine or Jacob either, in fairness.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They definitely benefit from effectively being a double vote to whatever side in those arrangements. They have more of a majority vote, no matter what order it was going to be. Well,
So
the
we
others,
get this,
who knows where they're voting?
yeah, they're a double vote, and they're also like nobody. Even when I think it's Genevieve who's running around trying to rally the vote, saying let's do Elaine first and then Jacob, and Peter Stevo is like, you don't have the votes for that, Genevieve. Like nobody thinks that they're traitors. Everybody wants to get either you or Camille Rose first. So like, you're going to have to flip. Those guys are so far down the pecking order. Sexy Steve has been rallying. It's one of the women for days now. Something's got to give. This final mission is that fancy last meal that's actually a sort of escape room with a bunch of, like, tables with puzzles or challenges, and you sacrifice people. The real juice here was all the strat that was going on with the sacrificed players, Phil.
Yeah. Yeah, I was impressed that that basically they had this as an opportunity to strategize with three of them.
It was a season of rabid gamer squirrels who were just not doing that good of a job.
Yeah. Yeah. And like no, no, I was gonna say I feel like we're seeing something similar-ish in one of the other Trader seasons that's happening at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, we really are. It is kind of giving New Zealand, and like it's like if we had multiple Audreys, where like Audrey kind of pulled it off because she was with a bunch of people who had no idea what was going on and were iconic divas.
Yeah.
Whereas together, like I actually just don't. Again, this is a self-reflection as much as it is anything else. I don't think being a rabid gamer squirrel does you any good in the Traitors.
No, I wouldn't say being a get massive gamer benefits you in most games.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
I don't think it benefits
Be
you in anything.
be more chill. Be cool and likable.
Yeah, literally that. If you've been listening to mine and Jane's podcast about New Zealand, we say just be the best, the smartest of the dumbs or whatever we said.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, just be socially smart.
Be cool and likable. I ought to get that printed and look at it on my mirror every day and remind myself, be less insane. Anyway, so whatever, there's like a strat chat with Nada, Peter Stevo and Jacob, I think here. It's all like kind of a little bit crazy. Like Peter Stevo's sweating bullets and basically being like, "Oh my god, I don't know if I can trust you. You're going to throw me under the bus." And Nada the drama being full control freak. So again, post mission, I want to yada yada through a lot of this because it's just a lot
Yep.
of agonizing over the boot order, and none of it really
Yeah.
matters.
Yeah.
Because let's go into the final roundtable. And I was like, Peter Stevo and Genevieve here really need to keep Camille Rose. She's the
Yep.
most snowed. She is the last person who thinks that they're not traitors. I don't know
Yeah.
when she flipped back to thinking Peter Stevo is innocent, because she does occasionally throw out his name, but and the fact that Peter Steele is like, no, we don't have the votes. I'm looking at the votes. It could have been a 3-3 tie. Sure, like Nada,
Yeah.
Jacob, and Elaine are all voting for Camille Rose, but I actually think that Genevieve and Peter Stevo should have forced a tie here.
Yeah. Do you think if they went to 5, well, I guess if they look, because I guess in my mind, I'm like, well, if they lose that tie, then they'd be in the same scenario. So yeah. Yeah, I guess they'd have to, obviously with retrospect, they'd have to take the risk.
I think they just do. I mean, I suppose in their minds, they're like, it'll look really suspicious if we say, pin it on Nada.
Mm.
Why are they so determined? They've not, all of this time, they've not been insistent Camille Rose is a, yeah, you're right. I think at this point, you're right. Let me just put myself in their shoes for a second. Peter Stevo and Genevieve don't realize how cooked they are. Peter
Yeah.
Stevo does not realize Camille is the only person in the game who
Mm.
thinks that he's faithful. So,
Mhm.
of course, he doesn't realize how critical it is to keep her.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, and he doesn't, him and Genevieve don't know that the other 3 have already created a final 3
Yeah.
alliance. Like, they haven't even been really working with 2 of them. Yeah, like, logically, this probably makes sense in their world, but they obviously don't, and then obviously they don't, Genevieve doesn't understand or know that they're all gonna turn on her next. Like, it's, unfortunately, they just don't actually have the information that they needed at all.
No.
And it's because they all kept flipping on each other.
They
So
did.
now
They did.
there's no stream of information. It's all, and then that's why we yada yada this other section, because it was just them all talking about the same thing in 5 different iterations. Like, there's no consistent information flow.
No.
It's like,
And maybe, like, to an extent, that's good on Jacob, Elaine, Nada for making Peter Stevo believe that they don't think he's a traitor when we
yeah,
know, like, Jacob and Elaine have made a final 2-pack with Peter Stevo as the number 1 suspect.
yeah, yeah. So no, good on them for that then. The
Yeah.
consistency works here.
I'm just saying, Elaine, Jacob, secretly masterminds. One of one of my favorite. Kareen's got a fabulous emerald green chulgrass, big fluffy layers. But one of my favorite moments, actually, of these episodes is here at this round table where Camille Rose goes out, and she's like, "Justin, I would never have murdered Justin. It couldn't have been me because Justin trusted me more than anyone else in this game." And Nada and Jacob are like, no, sweetie, he hated your guts. Like, Justin has known you for like weeks.
Yeah, even the fact that, like, even after all the weird shield, whatever, him going around saying he had one, like, that she wasn't privy to, you would have thought that she would have understood that, no, clearly he was more in cahoots with Nada than you.
Yeah.
For him to actually have lied. He lied to you. Like, you don't understand amongst
No,
that.
yeah. No,
He actually
no.
did not. He
She
lied
thought it
to
was you,
you.
babes. It was not. This was
Uh,
no thing. I also loved, like, Camille Rose and Nada are screaming at each other. It gets really personal and uncomfortable and midway through, Elaine's like giving her tea on Genevieve, but fully slips up and is like, and so when I was called to the conclave, and everyone, it was insane. And no, everyone's just like, yeah, we all know Elaine just said that, but it's Elaine, so I guess we don't care, and just went back to screaming at each other.
yeah. Well, yeah, because it's such a funny callback given that Genevieve also did the same
Yes.
thing and they were just like,
It
girl,
happens.
these people.
So Camille Rose goes first, and then Peter Stevo flips on Jen. We get full betrayal, slow-mo music, flashbacks, and he's like, Genevieve, I was crying about something or other ages ago, but you never came to check on me about the shields or something or other. And while she's trying to throw out Elaine, everyone is like, no, fuck you, doesn't stick. And then everyone votes for Genevieve except for Genevieve, who, when voting for Peter Stevo, says, I'm voting for Peter Stevo, and I think you know why.
Yeah.
Parting gift coded. But it doesn't matter because Elaine and Jacob have been planning this the whole time. So in the final fire of truth, they unanimously vote out Peter Stevo, who tries voting for Elaine. We're getting a faithful victory. Thrilling. And Nada is blindsided when in her final three, they vote to banish again. Nada thinks that her and Elaine are... Oh, sorry. She thinks her and Jacob are turning on Elaine. She made that pact with him in the mission. But Elaine, calling her Nadia because our Queen Elaine, has been there and still not learnt everyone's names.
Obsessed with that.
And Elaine looked incredible. Can we just give some more shout out to the outfits here? Elaine looks... Do you remember, like, way back at the start when I told you Elaine looks so much like that guy who's on real estate shows in the UK?
Yeah.
This outfit is, like, straight out of his playbook.
She was possessed.
She just looked amazing. And then it's a crush pick victory, and she calls out to Mona. She's like, I did it for you, Mona. And I was really hoping that Mona was her wife, but it was her mum. Still, jury's out on Elaine's sexuality. It's giving lesbian to me, but I went through her follows. I went through her gram. I'm not getting any answers. If anyone has hard answers, let me know, because I'm horned up for her.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, no, oh, good. It's so funny because when they had their little package of this is them before the final fire and they show Elaine, I totally forgot, and I think Nada mentions it at one point when she talks about lawyers. I'm like, oh, I forgot that Elaine's whole storyline was that she made up a job. She has been acting so random for somebody who's also... I decided I'm not going to say I'm a private investigator. I'm going to say I'm a lawyer. Okay. And now it's gone to, oh yeah, Elaine just says random things accidentally. We're not going to suspect her at all.
I don't even think I think she's like a legit former, like, CIA vibes operative.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like, but like that was her storyline that she was pretending. And this whole season, they're like, oh, like old Elaine, old Elaine over here. She's just doing whatever.
She's just
like
doing her thing.
Yeah.
I love these two as winners. I love that in this season of these young millennials doing the most and trying to play really hard, that we end up with this, like, random dude from the circus who kind of clocks what's going on but is on an island.
Yeah.
And Elaine, who hates everybody there except for Jacob and Sexy Steve.
Yeah.
And they end up winning. This was perfect. This was
No,
cinema. It was camp. I enjoyed.
yeah, because now seeing it because like you said, basically, I think it was really like third week or something. I think it was the second week we recapped. So it was like episode 3 onwards, 3, 4 onwards, where or maybe that was Justin. I can't remember, but Jacob had his like breakthrough week after the first couple of weeks of just seeing sort of being there. And then he was on top of it the whole time, but everybody flopped was such floptinas that they're like,
Yeah.
the
No
fact
one
that he
cared what
survived
he had
so
to
long was
say. They're all like, no,
yeah,
you don't understand. We're gamers. Bald Justin's mustache twirling his invisible mustache, and the gamers are like, no, we've got this elaborate plan. We know what's going on. Like, I've got a cunning scheme. And Jacob's like, no, but I actually think it's Peter Stevo and John Vier. What will you know,
yeah.
circus freak?
Yeah, exactly. No, I love it. No, I like this ending. I feel nice about it.
Yeah, it was cute. All right, should we do one last crush pyramid for the
Yeah.
season?
Okay, well, like, I feel like people don't need to know who the tops are for each of our pyramids, but sure.
Yeah.
But we can, we can.
Ooh, crush pyramid, crush pyramid. All right, give us your season overall crush pyramid, Philly.
Okay, so I think on the bottom, okay, so I do have to at least put the original Bald, the original Bald. I had to put Bald Justin, at least on my crush pyramid as the one I did find cute the longest or whatever. I say he's had long-standing presence. For the other person, I want to put on the bottom. Okay, I've actually just changed it like 15 times in my mind, but maybe I'll leave it on. Maybe I'll leave it on Genevieve. As a trader, like she did a really good job. She lasted the longest out of all of them. She actually really didn't, even though we got shown some like, oh, she might have made a mistake. The only mistake she sort of did was not sort of get somebody out of her group to get voted out or whatever, get banished. Other than that, keeping Peter Stevo there really, like if she stayed with Camille Rose would have taken, like there was this whole bunch of, maybe she should have been a touch more proactive in sort of enforcing what her trajectory wanted to be. But other than that, she was good and she was fun. And she, as she pointed out, she wore pretty hot outfits. So that was good. And then the top of my crush pyramid, obviously will have to be, because I realized, I think I messaged you this or we talked about it before we podcasted. So I feel like it might seem like I like Bold Justin the most, but I think I actually told Annabel that the person that I thought was the hottest was Circus Freak Jacob. But when we saw the cast photos, and so I think yeah, he's a good winner. He was actually proactive the whole time. Like he was actually trying. There's nothing sexier than a person who's actually right. Um, as we're encountering in.
I'm still mentally processing that you unironically find Jacob sexy.
Well, I think as the season went on, I wouldn't particularly have gone towards him outside of the fact that he was on it. If
Yeah,
he was a background character, if he was a background character, like remember like how I used to think that is it Nate, his name was like Mickey or even Nick last season,
yeah,
like in the Canada seasons. Like I'll always have that one rando. But the thing is because he was good, then I think he transcended more into the category that I usually place like all the later game player good girl vibes, whatever. So
yeah.
yeah, that's my crush pyramid.
I love that. Mine's fairly similar. Down at the bottom of my crush pyramid, Patrick, even though I temporarily misplaced his name earlier, Patrick had a breakout episode where like Patrick sobbing hysterically while unable to say anything in his own defense while everyone railed on him was such a moment, and I loved it, and I don't think I will forget that roundtable for some time to come, so keep that there for me. Also on my crush pyramid, Genevieve for all the aforementioned reasons, and I think she's going to be so good on House of Villains. Like, honestly, her, Miriam, and Audrey, dream orgy lineup. Like, get me in there. Top of my crush pyramid, she came into breakfast every day serving. All right. She scared the living daylights out of the men. She came, she saw, she conquered. Give me Elaine.
Yeah. Watch her
Well,
hair blow in the breeze.
oh, that it can barely blow because it's weighed down with so much hairspray, but we love her for it.
I, I, I love that. What a great crush pyramid.
What a great crush pyramid. We made it, team. We did it. We covered a finale. I'm so proud of us. What else have we got coming up on the Babes in the Conclave lineup, Philly?
We are coming up to what, week 4 of Traitors New Zealand, which Annabelle and Jane have already watched, so I still have to watch it. But yes, so we've got that this week with Jane. What do you have on?
Well, Sarah Carradine and I, we're sorry we're going to be a couple of days late with this week's coverage of Hungry Season 3. Sarah's in New Zealand, so that will be coming out in the next couple of days, so stay tuned for that. That's episode 5, I think. I'm covering New Zealand over on Rob Has a Podcast with Puya, and we just did our cast assessment for the Traitors Australia. I've never loved and appreciated the Babes audience more, frankly, team. You keep me
Yeah,
going. You're
yeah,
the
we're
light
all
at the
doing
end
this
of the
for
tunnel
you.
sometimes.
Yeah, we're doing this for you guys.
Everything is for you, and I love you. Yeah, wow. Quebec, it's over, Philly. You
Yeah,
and I are on a temporary break then. Does that mean until Australia comes out in August?
no, but you're not doing Australia with me.
Oh my God, and I'm not even doing Australia with you. Wow. All right. Well, we'll have to find something else. Like, I'm sure India's dropping.
Yeah,
The US is No, Australia is Australia in no.
Australia's August.
Australia's August. US is in September.
Okay, a civilian.
Yeah. So
Okay,
we'll
cool.
find something to talk about in between now
How
and then.
come, Annabelle? Unless you're unfortunately too hot of a hot commodity that the one that we recap together is US.
I know. And the US civilian, have you seen the cast? Like, they look
Yeah,
so shiny. I'm like, what were you thinking? And then also
yeah.
apparently they're all secret relationships as well. It's bleak.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I know. Just when you thought
Um,
the US couldn't
I
get more
know.
cringe.
I know. This is why we love Canada as well.
Oh, bring back
It is
Canada.
the one that we can do together, and also they're crazy. Well, America.
Yeah. Doesn't Canada English speaking usually drop this year as well? Sort of October,
Yeah, and
November
end of
time?
year. Because we
Yeah.
always seem to do it like around New Year's and Christmas.
Oh, that's right. We do. Anyway,
Yeah.
babes, we love you all, and we will find something to speak about together for you very soon. Bye.
Bye.